When Paul wrestled with his thorn in the flesh, he heard from God these wonderful words: "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness." Stuck with a thorn in your life? Hi, this is Joe Stowell, and we need to talk about that. I'll never forget a small, older, hunched-over lady greeted us with a glowing smile at the doorway of our little son Matthew's Sunday school room. She happened to be one of the most effective Sunday school teachers at our church, and my son Matt loved her. And I'll never forget the time she told me, "Pastor, God made me small and bent over so that I can be right down here where the children are. If I weren't like this, I couldn't relate to them so well." Well, needless to say, I was blown away by her perspective on her plight in life, her thorn in the flesh. If you're wondering what a thorn in the flesh is, well, it's any affliction in our lives that, if we are not careful, can defeat us with a good dose of self-pity and embitter our hearts toward God. But the important thing to know about our thorns is that Satan desires to use them to defeat us, while God is determined to use them for our good and His glory. The Apostle Paul is probably the most famous example of someone who was stuck with a thorn in the flesh. Paul knew right where the thorn had come from. He referred to it as a messenger of Satan. And though Paul never tells us what his thorn was, I think it's clear that it was a serious problem to Paul. He said, "3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me." But God didn't answer his prayer with a miraculous healing, but rather assured Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you." You know, it's important to know that when God permits a thorn to remain, He gives us the grace to accept it, and sometimes even the grace to understand the purpose for which that particular thorn is intended. Paul came to realize that God permitted his affliction, as he said, to keep me from becoming conceited. Paul was a gifted person. He could have easily become proud in his abilities and accomplishments. And, as we all know, that proud spirit would have been a disaster to his usefulness for God. So God took what Satan had intended to defeat Paul and turned it into a smashing victory by enabling him to stay appropriately humble and therefore useful. You know, getting a grip on why God permits our afflictions, weaknesses, or disabilities to remain has a powerful effect on our attitudes. Instead of shaking his fist at God and grumbling about his thorn, Paul realized that God's power was being made perfect in his weakness. That insight produced an upbeat spirit of delight and satisfaction. As he said, "For Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, for when I am weak, then I am strong." We normally don't think of being strong in weakness, but that's just how God works. He knows that if we think we are strong in and of ourselves, then we will become proud and self-sufficient. And when we feel that way, we are in reality very weak and unable to accomplish much of anything except for thinking how cool and capable we are. God has a better plan. When He needs to accomplish really great things through us, He sometimes needs to get our twisted view of ourselves out of the way. So He takes Satan's intrusions into our lives, and He beats Satan at his own game. You may see it as a thorn, but God sees it as a triumph. So, whether it's Paul, a hunched-over teacher, or you, start seeing what God is doing through your thorn, and then rejoice with them that He cares enough to keep you from getting in the way of the great things that He wants to do through your life.